Hello there and welcome to my reaction to Fantastic Dizzy Review, Yoked Edition, trademark, by Seth. I have no idea what to expect of this. I don't know what Fantastic Dizzy is. I don't know if that's the actual name of the game. I don't even want to say I hope so. I don't really care. But we will see. And we will see it now.
Hey people, Seth here. To address some allegations, I'd like to ask a simple question. Are you really upset because I was on the flight logs? Or are you upset because you were never invited? Fantastic Dizzy is a game which, unlike the highly optimized projects of today, is less than 800 kilobytes and fits on a floppy with room to spare. It's a DOS game.
So it's a DOS game. Okay, I wanted to say, is it like in... It's not an NES. I think it has too many bits. At least it looks more than 8-bit, maybe 16, like a Sega Genesis. Something like that.
It's a tale older than time. You are an egg called Dizzy, and your egg girlfriend has been kidnapped. Save her before she gets groomed by the vaguely Arabic-looking wizard. Along the way, solve
maybe it's more than 16 bits.
The right item. You can only hold 3, and the
it's
only
a bit
way
complex.
to reshuffle them is by dropping them on the ground. It's a simple system, but it's an adventure game, so everything is an insane leap of logic. Deadly spikes, Persian rug, burning fireplace, bucket of water, which
makes
exactly
sense.
The same as the empty bucket of water, but has to be dropped into a specific pool of water to become the bucket of water, or else it doesn't work and you have to backtrack all the way to the graveyard. Also, because you're an egg, you roll like an egg. This can filter a lot of people as you'll roll into enemies. The Yolked village is infested by spiders and snails, while the city is overrun
old
by
games.
Hasidics.
Unnecessary difficult.
As bad as the butterflies, which do no damage, but stun lock you long enough that you die by something else. As evidenced by the fact that he is healed not only by eating fruit, but by the mere presence of precious stones. Dizzy is a Semitic life form, and Grandpa Dizzy is probably some kind of century egg, which explains why he has to live in hiding.
I see gray.
Becoming an Asian man's delicacy.
Never mind.
The objective of this game is to collect 250 stars that lag your screen each time they appear.
Yeah, it seems like struggles.
As increasing your CPU cycles will make the extra life minigame impossible, as the hourglass is tied to your clock speed. These stars are non-negotiable, and you can't finish the game without them. Some are sadistically placed, and you can't get to them except by falling in a particular manner from several screens away, let alone know of their existence. At some point, the game even expects you to trick shot yourself against
games like that
to get the final stars, while platforming on a series of clouds that sink the longer you put weight on them. But that's late game. Early game is getting filtered by the minecart, which boils down to a single strategy. Guessing. You guessed wrong, you get splatted. Or in my case, you take the wrong exit and get stuck on a beach. At the time, I didn't realize you could take the entrance back to the mine and drown in the ocean. Then I came back after the bubble riding minigame and got filtered all over again because I brought my aqua lung, but no flippers, and I couldn't swim out of the bottom cavern. Dizzy has taught me that I haven't progressed very much as an adult, and I'm struggling with an hour-long video game that's old enough to be the child bride that died giving birth to me. At least the music is nice. In general, this is a very nice game that you could show your grandma. It's not some NTR RPG Maker slop that would surely break her pacemaker. In the end, you fight the wizard. He's not very good at magic, but he has a mirror, which is good at reflecting magic. He's turned to stone and dies, presumably as an involuntary celibate. Your reward is a kiss from your fair maiden, which I think is reward enough. Recently,
he didn't turn to stone, just exploded.
I have a script, I have footage, but it's not long enough to justify a full video. Then I realized the title of the video doesn't have to be accurate. So, I have no lack of content, which is important when I'm committed to giving sponsors the lowest quality for the highest rate of return. There are 3 things I value in this life: my mother, my data, and your mother. You know who else loves these things? Data brokers.
Make the video louder because it
feels online can be traced directly to your IP address via your service provider.
Quite quiet.
They wouldn't sell your personal information to governments and private companies just for a quick buck, would they? Data brokers use this information to piece together what kind of person you are and sell you ads. Just last week, I googled one C++ tutorial. I now own 6 pairs of programming socks. I don't even know how it happened. Such is the horror of a dreaded data broker. How did they know it was me? Because in one brief moment of foolish weakness, I forgot to turn on ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN masks your digital footprint and stops those pesky brokers in their tracks. And it's not just brokers you gotta look out for. Ask yourself this: who owns
I don't even know what Yakuza that was.
to browse all your favorite content. Is it your mom, my mom, your boss, perhaps your local public library? Well, if you and your waifu keep having these not-so-secret rendezvous on their Wi-Fi, they can still see everything, even
I didn't
in
like that
incognito
picture.
mode. Now, your mother will disown you, your boss will garnish your wages, and the library will revoke your card. Now, your JoJo library date is canceled. But Seth,
No.
I hear you cry. All this computational back and forth sounds really complicated.
Oh.
Not to worry, my friend.
Big German.
ExpressVPN does all the hard work for you. Just turn it on, hit one button, and voila. All your network traffic is sent through a secure encrypted tunnel. How strong? So strong it would take a
I love memes
supercomputer
with the
1 billion years to crack.
virtual
Find out
sin
how you can get
forgiveness.
3 months of ExpressVPN for free by visiting expressvpn.com/Seth or by clicking the link in the description below. What if I told you an action RPG released 2005 that's over 19 years old had fully working multiplayer? Until recently, when some corporate goon came in and ordered the unpaid intern to manually disable the multiplayer button. That's not a joke. They're just
Those are
that
50
petty.
euros,
The
aren't they?
latest copy of Dungeon Siege 2 on Steam
Well,
presents you with a menu where
in the background
multiplayer
there
is
before
grayed
this.
out. So naturally, people reverse engineered it, and it's working perfectly. We managed to finish the whole campaign using only the most premium gaming platform. It's old, it's scuffed, and it plays adverts that can be blocked by editing your System32 host file. But guess what? It has charm. This game
Dangerous.
infects my consciousness.
I'd kill you first, green lady!
There's quotes from a tutorial burned into my brain.
Those must be the Bracken we learned about as children. Let's take them out. These Bracken are as weak as Calrathian ale. These creatures remind me of our scuffles with the Taklak. Tough. These wooden creatures are weak to fire. Too bad I'm not a combat mage. These Ketrel are tough. Next time we see one, use my brutal attack power on it. That'll surprise them.
The story is very simple. You and your friend Dre
Fair enough, I guess.
in PMC Wagner. Before dying, he gives you his magical plot armor amulet.
We have completed our task. When can we expect our pay?
Wait, PMC Wagner. Okay.
Look out!
Interesting
And
reference.
then he dies. The rest doesn't really matter. You don't have to pay attention. Just kill things and have a good time.
Clock
Oh
War.
my lord, I don't care. Wait,
An
hold on.
age ago,
Wait,
Zerum
I skipped
Don't
it.
care.
Anyway, we get captured as war criminals because we attacked a UNESCO heritage site. Understandably, the Dryades don't like us, and they've put good boy compliance collars on all the prisoners. One of them
That
makes a
explode,
break for
don't
it,
they?
which isn't very smart. On the other hand, you did enlist as a mercenary for people who look like this. They say,
Cuts out
don't
oxygen.
judge a book by its cover. I say, physicality reflects inner state, and all the most horrible people I've ever encountered look like something that escaped the minds of Moria. The prison warden gives you a chance to prove yourself by burning
Kind
down
of
a bunch
fair.
of Morden watchtowers. This is one of several situations in this game where you have to think. Don't worry, there's not many. There's also not much dialogue in this game, except for Daru. Daru never stops talking, and she will begin her monologue in the middle of a fight. For this reason, I always recommend putting Daru in your party because it's very entertaining to get wiped by a dialogue box. This game can be quite intense. I'm not
Seems like
kidding when I
dialogue box
say
stops
it's
the
about
game.
1-2 taps and you're
Or at
dead.
least
Free
your
if you're a
control.
tank. And even a trash mob encounter can leave your party dead.
I'm gonna be real. This ain't looking good.
So it's important to have a plan, build, or idea of what you're doing, which we did not. You level up by doing damage of a particular affinity, melee, ranged, combat, or nature magic, and you can mix and match freely. Don't like your mage? Pick up a sword. Don't like your fighter? Take a bow. There's nothing stopping you from leveling every single tree except free time and practicality, and there's no limitation on what any of your characters can be. Did my friend have to
Direct to
level
fire.
par as a combat mage? No, but it's funny. The Broken Worlds expansion adds 2 hybrid classes, Fist of Stone and Blood Assassin. One of these sucks ass. The other one lets nature mages have more armor than the tank. If you find yourself dying, just get more armor. There is no other statistic that matters for the average player. Leveling an affinity lets you put skill points in that tree, and certain combinations unlock powers. Powers win fights. Everything else is irrelevant. It's just filler until you use powers again. You charge them up by doing damage, and you release them when you
Oh,
run dopamine.
okay, not
The
time
first
locked.
difficulty curve is taking the elevator, as you
No,
will
just
likely
cool down.
split your party in half, and then one of us is going to pull the lever again, and we're going to repeat the whole process.
You know, it's not your fault. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, well, wait, don't worry.
Okay, get off. Yeah, get off the fucking. Well,
This game is entirely about budgeting, because the main thing you spend money on is potions, and you must make an informed decision. Do I buy the regular potion for my level that heals fast for however much money, or the weakest, shittiest potion for 15 gold? The answer is always the shittiest potion, and then you fill every single tile of your inventory with health and mana potions. Quick spoiler, melee and ranged do damage. Nature and combat do the same damage at the same rate, but they cost mana. So if you're relying on magic for damage, go back. Don't do that. Also,
that's why you
do not
usually
ever
don't
try
play
to
mages in
alt-tab this
games.
game. It can't handle it, and you're going to lose your save. However, I have room temperature IQ, and I'm conditioned, like a Pavlovian dog, that each time I hear that Discord notification, I am compelled to tab out and ruin everything. Proceeding
I can
with the story,
understand that.
you get told that you have the plague, and you should probably seek treatment from an elvish shrine. This does nothing, because the plague is actually caused by shard souls, which are the spirits of aborted NBA players, haunting the Planned Parenthood. No one can see them except for your party, and you're already immune because of drugs.
Not sure if that was a racist joke or something, but okay.
We take the road home. Along the way, we meet an old man who is definitely not the game's antagonist. He tells us we need to stop Doomsday by reforging the exact thing responsible for Doomsday and bringing it directly to the enemy leader. This is why we don't pay
Damn, he didn't even. He's not even looking while doing it.
Game. This is hack and slash. This is ADHD in its purest form, since we gave up being hunter-gatherers. Anyway, we purify fortress.
Was that Mark Zuckerberg if he was black?
Finding nothing else, they all dash into
Can't wait to see him if he was Chinese.
Which is enjoyable because it's all downhill from here. I'm gonna skip around a bunch because honestly, this game is defined by its boss fights. Everything in between is relatively straightforward and not worth mentioning. The next boss fight is a dark wizard. These are mortal men that have forsaken humanity by adding extra jaws to the side of their face. Originally, I was going to joke about this, but as I wrote the words Sloppenheimer in my script document, I felt deeply disgusted with myself and took a cold shower. It took us over an hour to kill him. This is easily the place where most people get filtered, because every one of his attacks will one-shot you, and one of them doesn't even have a projectile. It's just hit scan.
I'm gonna disagree that this is the place where most people get filtered, because probably most people left the game after 5 minutes of it, just judging by the game itself.
And you're dead. You have to break down each part of the shield barrier to actually damage him, and then he can just...
I won't be surprised if Seth and whoever he's playing with are the only people that reach this part.
And focus the moment it goes up, because if you don't, it kills everyone on the map, regardless of distance. And after destroying it, you have approximately 5 seconds before he summons another. Next up is a dragon. You have to shoot with a ballista, while avoiding hordes of infinitely spawning crabs. If he goes in the air, he rains down fire that burns you, the crabs, and more importantly, the ballista temporarily overheats the controls. However, the fight glitched, and the ballista was now permanently disabled. Half an hour into this, I wasn't planning on reloading the game. I gambled on the idea that I could reset the object state by getting the dragon to cook the controls, and it turned out that worked exactly as planned.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Two-stage boss fight, and now we have to fight its bloodied head in a narrow hallway with no cover. Objectively, we have been filtered, and yet, with everyone lying unconscious on the floor, we killed the dragon. How? Because for some reason, his second phase never actually kills you, and my nature mage, who was knocked out on the floor getting cooked by fireballs, was wearing a single piece of clothing with damage reflect that chunked the dragon's health for each tick of damage. Essentially, he died to a pair of slippers. What can I even say? We almost lost the first phase to a glitch, and we won the second with an exploit. A pleasant surprise, but usually it gets better before it gets worse.
It just looked like the guy walked out. Like, what the fuck happened here?
Pleasant surprise, but usually it gets better before it gets worse. And we're no longer heading downhill, because we've reached the bottom. Misery has 2 definitions: borderline personality and fighting free dark wizards at the same time.
Oh, man, this is gonna be rough. Okay, never mind, it's over.
I don't know if I can describe the incomprehensible pain of childbirth in a retarded position where you're fighting gravity, but I'll try describing something much worse. Imagine giving a boss the ability to cast a delayed explosion at your character's feet. Now, make it spammable and make it affect everyone on screen. And if your characters are already dead, target them anyway. The problem of this fight isn't the free bosses spamming insta-kill area of effect attacks. The problem is that the animation to get up from being dead is longer than the animation that kills you. So that if you die in this fight, I cannot revive you, because the second I do, you get one shot. If not by the explosion, then by the billion insta-kill projectile beams that can clip an entire party. This fight didn't just break us, it broke the whole game. It went on for so long that eventually the game started to randomly pause on pause and desynchronize. Spells and AoE attacks stopped rendering, and eventually everything just grinded to a halt and crashed.
Possibly because the game can handle it, or it's just
we got them on a second try
because it's unofficial. There's some kind of
most of my subconscious
like an
psyche
unfinished
was
multiplayer
dedicated to
stuff.
training for the rematch.
That's what's
because
broken.
I came back with reflex and strategy that I didn't know I had. If you can take out just one of them, the entire fight becomes much more tolerable. The last fight of the game is pretty okay. I don't expect you to have any trouble. You have to kill Valdis, who is normally invincible. However, this fight takes place in Baoshan Steel Limited, and the lack of workplace safety can work to your advantage.
You got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Thank God. I was gonna kill myself if I rage quit.
Then we tried the Broken World expansion.
I know all this. I'm not some child
Concentrate.
What the fuck
You
is
must
that?
focus if you want to learn.
Dude, this sucks.
And spoiler, it's complete dog shit. Turns out there's a good reason it's not sold anywhere online. Skip that shit. There's nothing good about it. In summary, I
wasn't going to play the original, never mind the DLC.
Friendship, and it will either wither away into ash because you are not pure of heart, or cement and grow stronger. Because one day you will play a competitive MOBA together, and if you're not prepared for that, you're going to be calling each other ethnic slurs.
I'm
for
never
the last
playing a
time,
MOBA again.
because your e-friendship is
It's not
over.
for me
You
at
can
all.
Play with up to 4 players. It's incredibly fun. I'll try and include instructions on how to patch the game in the description below, but in case this is not accurate, skill issue, figure it out. As always, more content to
Okay.
come, so stay tuned. I've been reading a lot of comments saying, lol, Seth isn't uploading, he's busy digging tunnels under the synagogue. These jokes hurt my feelings and caused me to self-harm. A warm thanks to the many members of a Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a
I
good
said
one.
that the game wasn't about Dizzy. It looks kind of fun. Okay. There's a weird video in my recommended, sorry. I have nothing to say. This video had... He said that there isn't enough footage for a video, but then he had 10 minutes of footage about that one game. Plus, he would have put like the sponsor in it, and it would have been like 12-13 minutes because he spent only about 3.5 minutes, if not less than that, on Fantastic Dizzy. So I don't know what that's about. But anyway, kinda enjoyed this. I'm definitely not gonna play this ever. Both of them. Neither the Fantastic Dizzy or whatever was the second game, whatever the name was. It's right on it, Dungeon Siege, yes.
The latest copy.
But I still kind of enjoyed it. It's interesting to see how deep the rabbit hole goes with gaming for Seth specifically. Just how weird or just old, unpopular maybe he gets with his selection of videos to make. Or his selection of like games that he makes videos out of. Whatever. I can't speak, but maybe you can in the comments below. Thank you everybody for watching this. I appreciate it a lot. I hope to see you next time, and goodbye. Have a great life, because one of us has to.